Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon or morning, Canada side, we're joined with Nadene Joy, who is an entrepreneur and life and business coach based in Canada, who also does some events of her own as well. So we'll have a little chat about them and life in general and just see where the conversation takes us. So how are you doing today, Nadene? You okay?
Thank you so much, Mike. I'm doing great. How about you?
Yes, I'm having a great day. You're my second podcast guest recording of the day, and the last one went really, really well. And I know this one's going to go well too. So I love getting to chat and find out a little bit more about my guests. So just for the benefit of myself and the audience, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So I was a geologist. Actually, I worked in corporate for almost a decade, and that's what I thought I was going to do with my life. And I had these dreams, graduated top of my class, won all these awards, did all of these things that I thought was going to make me happy. But there was something inside of me that still felt this void, that there was something that was missing. So for me, my journey started when I got sick and I almost died. And it was my massive wake-up call to start stepping into who I really was and honoring the differences that I had, because I looked at being different from the time I was little as something that was negative instead of embracing those changes. So I got sick, and then I realized that I'm here to help people, here to make a difference. I started as a parenting coach, I evolved to a life coach, business coach, helping startups, working with companies, organizations, and individuals now in pretty much every country of the world, and help people get unstuck. I work with leaders, influencers. And again, when I say leaders, I don't just mean CEOs of organizations. I mean anybody, because we're all leaders. I believe whether you're a teacher, whether you're working in a grocery store, we all have the ability to impact and positively impact lives in our world. So I work a lot now with trauma, helping people get unstuck, helping them to find their purpose in life. A lot of people, are COVID and the pandemic has brought up so many issues with people, what really matters. So just really helping people see it and create the awareness in their life of how their past affects the way we show up today, and the ability to be able to untap that potential that we have inside of us is so, so important.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, so you're on a very similar sort of path and journey to myself. I used to be a corporate sales director, and I grew a telesales team from 7 people doing 300,000 to 17 people doing 5.7 million over an 8-year period, which was pretty big growth. But the company grew from no turnover to 25 million turnover in the same 10 years, and I learned a lot along that growth journey. So I started off wanting to just help entrepreneurs and ambitious people who are looking to grow by helping them with their sales and their marketing and their strategy. But since the pandemic hit, I just thought, actually, I just want to help people, just like helping people with mental health problems, people who need a bit of uplifting, positivity, motivation, all that sort of thing. I've been massively into personal development and lots of the motivational and personal development speakers for years. And so I just want to share a lot of what I've learned of other people and what I've learned, with my, experience of running sales teams and business growth and the resilience of a salesperson. I've been in employed sales since I was 15. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 11. I've always had to work to sort of pressurize situations and targets and that sort of thing. I wanted to help other people to benefit from that experience and that knowledge, and help them to build resilience and to go after their goals in life and their targets, because no matter whatever they believe or they can dream of, they can make happen, they can achieve it if they really set their mind to it. So it sounds to me we're on very similar sort of paths.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important, isn't it, to help people create that awareness and give them sometimes the vision that they can't see themselves of, what's in front of them, instead of focusing on, what's behind and worrying about, the past and reliving the past. Because every time we think about something that's been negative in our life, it's like our whole body, our physiology is reliving that event over and over again. So it keeps pulling you back, like Groundhog Day. Have you seen the movie Groundhog Day, where
Yes.
it loops you back every day to the same situation until you finally have the awareness to realize that, hey, I need to do something different. And once you start having that realization and start looking at life from a different perspective, sometimes from a higher perspective, like you're looking down on your own life. It's very hard to change until you have that realization. It's about, and lots of people who right now with mental health who are suffering from depression and anxiety. So I believe depression lots of times is where we relive our past over and over again, and we get stuck in the past, and then all of a sudden, wake up feeling hopeless, feeling like there's no purpose, just feeling down and miserable, and just not wanting, and isolating ourselves from other people instead of, focusing on the present moment, what do you have, what you're grateful for, connecting with other people, which I believe is so important, the human connection, and connecting from the heart, speaking from the heart, connecting with love to people and kindness, and reaching out and really extending that to people right now is needed more than ever. That's what I say to everybody I talk to right now, is the more you can reach out to people, especially the people that you know, and especially during, as we're approaching the holiday season, people who are alone right now, is very important to make sure that we check in with people and just really, open our hearts to extending this loving kindness, especially this time of year, and not worrying about the uncertainty of the future. When we worry about the future, what's tomorrow, what's next year, what's 10 years down the road, that's when we have anxious feelings and have feelings of anxiety that start to creep in. So really focusing and taking time to take time for yourself, to, let go of those distractions around you, take a moment to just close your eyes, to breathe, to just center yourself and just be in silence. Sometimes that's all we need, is just, even 10 minutes in a day to sit down and really just listen for guidance for the day. What's your purpose for the day? Well, who do I need to reach out to today? What do I need to focus on? And just take those 1 or 3 things and focus on them. You don't need to have, 100 things done that you might have on your list, which we all have so much that we need to do right now. And our lists are just overflowing with to-dos each and every day. It's a matter of just focusing on those few things and not being overwhelmed, and focusing on right now, focusing on today. What can you do today to make a difference in your life?
Yes, definitely. I believe in, again, when I deal with people who've got mental health issues, or are suffering with their mentality, and there's all sorts of different mental health issues, but a lot of them are caused by that concentration on the past and not really looking forward to anything, and not having anything that they're trying to achieve out of life. And if you can get busy focusing on goals and targets and trying to achieve something in your life, and you can be so busy focusing on the future and what you're trying to achieve that you forget about the past and all of the things that are causing the problems in your head. And you can do the daily tasks, the simple things every day that you need to do, keep control of your mental well-being, and to keep you focused and pushing in the right direction, rather than just hanging around in the same old direction, going nowhere fast, so that's something which I encourage people to do through goal setting and target achievement and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to take inventory of where you're at too, right? Where are you feeling? How am I doing today? Asking yourself sometimes those questions. And also right now with, we're talking about mental health, like even suicide rates right now with and abuse and all of these other things in our society that are, at all-time highs, like just really to take inventory on people around you. And sometimes the people, when they do ask for help, moving towards them instead of fearing saying the wrong thing to them. That's one thing I've encountered lots with many of my clients, is people come to them for help and they don't know what to say. They don't know, they're scared of saying the wrong thing, and then that person's going to do something that isn't necessarily good for them, like suicide, like depression, like all these things that are happening. It's just so important to make sure that you empathize with them, even if you just say, I'm here for you. Tell me about how you're feeling. Tell me about what's going on. That's it. And then be quiet and just let them talk to you. Sometimes that's all people need, is somebody to talk to and somebody to tell what's going on, somebody they can trust, and just empathizing, having compassion for these people right now. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what people need right now. They need people to move towards, to empathize, to be compassionate, to let them know that they're not alone. This is huge.
Yeah, and so sometimes people get frozen by fear, the fear of things going wrong, so they choose not to do things. So they choose not to say anything or react in some way because the fear of getting it wrong. But sometimes doing nothing is almost certain to get it wrong anyway. So sometimes you're better off you're better off going on the offensive and doing something, at least trying to help someone. If you get it wrong, and so be it. You know, you can't be responsible, you know, for other people's actions. All you can do is try your best to listen to people and to try and help them, give them some motivation, do whatever you can. And, you know, if they make choices outside of that, then, you know, they make the choices. But to me, doing nothing is almost worse than the risk of doing something and it going wrong.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And being bold and having the faith to give you the courage to move towards that is so huge, right? Being able to be bold and be courageous to reach out, to do these things that are outside your comfort zone right now. Some things that don't necessarily feel good, like reaching out to somebody or things, but knowing, and and trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting yourself, what comes up. I've had many things that have come up to me. One example that comes to me, I always wake up. So I have a morning routine that I do every day where I sit in prayer and meditation. I also do an exercise routine and also learn something new. And again, it can just be 5 minutes each thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, hours upon your day when you wake up. But there was one time, and this is an example that's coming to my mind, was somebody popped in my mind I hadn't spoken with in over 20 years. Didn't even know where they were, where to reach them. Ended up connecting with them on Facebook, reached out to them. And they said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe you just connected with me. I was just praying that somebody would reach out to support me because I'm going through such a difficult time." And I didn't realize till years later, when they had told me that in that moment, they were actually thinking about committing suicide. And if it wasn't for me reaching out to them in that specific moment, they wouldn't be here today. So it's very important that we trust our intuition, trust the guidance that we're given, you know, have faith, have unprecedented faith right now that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Even if you're going through struggles, that there's always great things, lessons and blessings that come out of each situation that we're in. The trials, the tribulations, when I was sick, looking back where I almost died, that was my greatest blessing and also my most horrible rock bottom moment. But I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that moment, if I hadn't have lived through that and all the things that came after it of what I had learned about myself.
It's the resilience that allowed you to build up. And I went through a divorce myself, which is the only real bad thing that ever happened to me, but it made me a lot more resilient going forward. Like, you know, so, you know, out of adversity comes strength sometimes.
That's right. Exactly. And I think that that's a really great message, right? Out of adversity comes strength. That's what we need. That's what people need to hear right now, right? Is because a lot of people are in that situation right now that there's so much more realizations and people are taking inventory on their life, on their job, on what's most important to them. And really realizing, coming actually almost out of their shell and getting rid of like the physical masks, but the invisible masks also that have been there for so long, that are keeping them from even themselves knowing who they truly are, their true authentic self, let alone sharing that with the world. There's so much fear around people just being themselves, being authentic, being vulnerable. But this is what we need. And this is a message of truth I want to share with anybody who's listening here, is do not be afraid to be yourself and be different. Just step into that because the world needs you. You're unique. You have your own gifts. You have your own message that nobody else has in the entire world. And people need to hear that right now more than ever.
Yes, definitely. And I've got a formula which I created during the beginning of lockdown, which I'm going to share with you because, you know, I know you like to help people with their mental well-being. And this is something you can have off me for free and you can give to them for free. And if ever, you know, anyone needs it and you think it's a benefit, have it. It's something I've created to give to the world. And it's called the happiness formula. It's called the SMART happiness formula. And it's the SMART stands for sleep, meditation, ability to perform, random acts of kindness, and targets. And basically, I believe if people have at least 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, they meditate or do a bit of mindfulness for ideally 30 minutes a day. They look after their ability to perform, which is at least 30 minutes exercise a day, a well-balanced nutritional diet, and hydration, plenty of water. They do lots of random acts of kindness, but at least one a day. And they set themselves lots of sort of small, medium, and long-term targets, goals, which they can look forward to achieving and enjoy the success of achieving. Then I believe all of those things on a daily basis make you and anybody much happier. So it's a simple formula. It's a 5-step process. I created it. I was living it during the beginning of lockdown. I've always done most of it, but doing it all together is a compound effect. And that's what I want to share with the world. So I know that I'd come in handy for you, for some of your, people that you deal with, and you're more than, more than happy to have it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. That is a very powerful technique, and I can attest to every single one of your 5 steps that you just said. And not only in my own life, but in so many other people's lives that I've seen. Like every single one of those is so pertinent right now to make sure we focus on. I wanted to go back to one that you said, to hydrate yourself and drink a lot of water, because this is something I believe is so important right now that a lot of people don't realize that they're not drinking enough water and hydrating their body and their mind to be able to think and focus and have the clarity that they need right now to be able to move forward to the next step, to have the visions, to be able to get the clarity, the guidance of where they're supposed to be going next. And so what I started doing, I call it living water. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but you pour yourself a glass of water, and what you can do is literally bless the water, pray over the water. And literally it's like, and there's been studies done on this. I believe it was Dr. Emoto did the study of water. I don't know if you read that book. I forget the title. Hidden Messages in Water actually is the title of the book, and how he had said it's the power of our words, right? Saying, words of love over the water and then words of hate over the water, and froze the water. And they did a study of how the water froze, and the crystalline structure of the water, of the love water, or the water that has been blessed, was just phenomenal. Just like I look like a beautiful snowflake. And then the other ones that were given messages of hate and disgust looked like it didn't even look like, it was like a big blob. It didn't even look like a snowflake. There was no crystalline structure. So there's actually scientific studies over this. If you pray and you bless your water, pray over love. I believe, I'm in faith, so I believe I do this now, and I imagine, God's love going into the water, infusing into the water. And then as we drink that water, that goes inside of us and also raises our frequency to that. And I believe we all should be vibrating at the frequency of love or above, right? Right now is love and compassion and empathy, what we just talked about. But when you have water and you're constantly filling yourself up with this living water, it has the ability to change your world in it's such a small thing, but yet I've seen such positive changes in even the appearance of people that started drinking, water, living water, and the importance of drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water. I know we heard this as a child, but it's so important, especially when you're in business, working with leaders, working with prominent individuals, and especially because we're more busy now than ever, we need more hydration in our body. And I'm sorry to take up time on this. I just believe it's so important right now. Nobody talks about this, right? It's not a topic that I've heard anybody else speak about.
It's massive. Yeah, it's massive. And if people was to replace their, a couple of coffees per day with water, and their couple of Cokes per day with water, not only will their brain work better and they'll be able to make better decisions, their energy would stay better as well. They're going to be happier, and actually they're going to lose weight as well if it's replacing their soda or their pop with water. So many different advantages. And I think the well-balanced nutrition is important as well. It's like, if you put rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out. So, it's all common sense, really. But so many people lack common sense in today's society, in my opinion. It's not very common. The most badly described sense, or badly described thing, common sense, because not many people have it these days. It is common sense. People are like, why am I overweight? Well, because you eat too much cake. Why am I feeling tired? Well, because you haven't had enough sleep. You know what I mean? Sometimes people ask these questions and they delve into all sorts of crazy things. And why am I this and why am I that? And the answer's staring them straight in the face a lot of the time, and they just refuse to see it. So
no, absolutely. And lots of times too, I've found, because I worked with lots of clients with that have weight issues, especially around the midsection, and lots of times they're actually is some connection with our past, right? And sometimes things that we're holding on to that we don't even realize we're holding on to. And so it's almost like a layer of protection that we're adding to our body so that it doesn't get hurt again, right? So it's sometimes not even what we're eating. Sometimes it's our emotional and our mindset and how we're thinking and what we're holding inside of us from our past that we don't even realize is there. It's huge. And like I said, not a lot of people put that connection between their past and, even their physical body, how you're feeling, your health, your, this, like your mind, like your clarity, your focus, your productivity, your level of success, even, money. Like lots of people have money mindsets around that. There's a limit that they believe that they're worthy of earning. It's about worthiness, self-love. All of these things are so important to be able to just have conversations like what you're doing today is phenomenal, just to bring this awareness out into the world, Mike.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. And as you know, we've met through Intrabiz, where I'm a sales and marketing director. We do networking events and online seminars and that sort of thing. And we were briefly chatting before we went on air, and you do some events yourself similar as well. So tell us a little bit about the events that you do and the next one is and that sort of thing.
Of course. Yeah. So I'm the chair and founder of the Global Lead to Impact Summit. And our next summit will be in May. So May 5th and 6th of 2021. And this summit came about all simply because of the ability and the desire for people and leaders in particular to want to connect with others through experiences. So this summit came about was because we wanted to create speakers to come in to be engaging, to create experiences, to create real conversations around things that matter in our world right now. So it's all about leading to impact, leading to help others, leading to make a difference in people's lives. At a conference, there's experiences you get to go through that you get to experience, and you leave changed. We've had two summits up until now, and the people and the feedback that we've had of the transformation that has occurred in the day or 2 days that we've had our summits. People have said their life has been changed just simply by showing up and being present at this the conference. We have amazing speakers. We have Marshall Goldsmith. We have Richard Goldberg. There's so many amazing people already right now. I think we have 18 speakers confirmed for our May event, and people were in talks with Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Kevin Harrington, which is one of the original founders of Shark Tank. So just some amazing individuals. Laurel Langemeyer, just some great people doing some great things in the world that just want to help others. So yeah, we would love for you guys to join us. And if anybody wants to be a speaker, if you have a great message to tell, we're open to that as well. We do two events a year, so we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, brilliant. And we got 3 seminars ourselves. We just had a 3-day one, 25th to 28th of November, and we had Les Brown and Kevin Harrington and Sharon Lecter and Bob Berg and Brian Tracy and Dr. John DiMartini and loads. We had 33 speakers in all. And we've got 3 more lined up for next year, which is March, July and October. So they spread around your 2 by the looks of it. But definitely, I could probably send some speakers your way, and I'm sure you could probably do the same in reverse, and we can maybe help market each other's events and stuff as well. We could put your event in our group, our Facebook group, which we've been building up since our summit, and I've got loads of groups of my own. I'm actually going to be speaking. I didn't speak at the last summit, but I'm going to be speaking at the next 3 Intrabiz events myself. So I might be interested in one of those speaking slots at one of your events as well. Perhaps I could have a chat with people about my happiness formula, or I do have a success formula as well, which is a similar sort of thing. I also speak quite regularly, all of a sudden recently, on how to follow your passion to find your voice. Which is something I'm living and experiencing right now. So I've got lots of things to help speak to people about. So if there's any opportunities going, we'll have to have a chat about that. It's been great to.
Yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful. I would love to have a conversation with you about that and support each other's events and your event, and yeah, support ours and work together. I think that's what life is about right now too, creating these win-win partnerships, helping one another, just helping more people in the end is what life is about. So that sounds phenomenal, Mike. And I'm excited for your next event as well, and to attend that and to be able to be a part of that.
Yes, brilliant. And I think you got some kids or interaction in the background somewhere like you did. But always that's part of Zoom life these days, for having the photo bombers and the external contributors through their sound. I was going to say, our audience is predominantly UK, but we're growing it globally, and I guess yours is predominantly North American, and you're probably looking to grow that globally as well. So we can literally, double our audiences by finding a way to intersperse them, if you like. So that's definitely something I think I'd be more than happy to help. Get those Brits and the Europeans over to your event, and if you could do the same with some of our events, that would be awesome. If we could build together.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I think that sounds fabulous. There's definitely a synergy between what you're doing and what we're doing here. So let's definitely continue to move forward with that.
That's brilliant. And when you're not doing the events, is it mostly coaching then that you're doing?
Yeah, I work a lot with individuals, with leaders, working with, I've worked with families. I've actually worked with a lot of youth the past 6 months, now getting into more corporate environments with our working wellness program that we have now, bringing the wellness into organizations. So yeah, that's predominantly the majority of my time is spent doing that.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I guess the weekends takes it's a bit of family time, and I guess there's some pressing engagements at the moment for the kids. So I'm going to say it's been great having you on the podcast. Thanks for sharing information about what you do and what you got coming up and all that sort of thing. If you want to send me over a link, do so, and I can pop it into my description on my YouTube and on my podcast, so that other people can click on your link, and I guess they can register now, can they, for the May event?
Sounds great. Yeah, it's just at Lead to Impact, so it's lead and then the number 2 impactsummit.com.
lead2impactsummit.com. Okay. And if you want to tag me in on any of your promotion, I'm more than happily share that to my audience. So I don't know what platforms you use, but I'm on all of them. So just tag me in, find me, tag me in, and I'll share your content for my audience.
Sounds great. And you do the same with yours, and I would love to share yours with all my audience as well. So let's continue with that. Sounds wonderful.
Brilliant. And thanks a lot for coming on the podcast, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. You as well.
No problem. All the best. Bye-bye.
Take care.